that we're going to make available, and this is a really fun video. It features Chuck Harder in a documentary sort of style with the Telford Hotel and the radio studios at the Telford. It's called Reflections. And it was shot several years ago, but we're going to make that available on the website. I'm going to duplicate it, but that is definitely a walk down memory lane if I ever saw it. It's fun. It was done well, but if you've never been to White Springs, if you've never seen the Swanee River or the Stephen Foster Memorial or anything, you'll be able to take in the sights and the scenes, and you'll see what really made it really special there at the Telford Hotel. So I'll let you know when that's all done, but that's a very meaningful piece, and I think this thing, as Chuck would say, will sell like hotcakes, and we'll make it available for a nominal fee, of course, shipping and handling and all that good stuff, to ship it out to you. But anyway, getting into another story, this is unbelievable. What science can do now, they grew an ear on an arm. On a woman's arm, her own arm. She needed it. I'm telling you, they grew an ear. They grew a new ear for this lady named Army. Her name's Army. She's in the Army. Private Shamika Burgage. And so under the skin of her arm, after she lost her ear in an accident, a very unfortunate accident, and the doctor's working on her and doing this, but they grew the ear. And they performed this procedure on this 21-year-old after using her own cartilage to grow this ear, which then they attached to Burgage's head at William Beaumont Army Medical Center in El Paso. And a statement this past week said Raj recovered her hearing after the operation and is expected to have feeling in the ear after she completes rehab. They say the whole goal is by the time that she's done with all of this, it looks good. It's sensational. I just can't believe it. If somebody doesn't know her, they won't notice, said Lieutenant Colonel Owen Johnson III, Chief of Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery at the medical center. Apparently she was 19 and healthy and had her whole life ahead of her. Johnson continued, why should she have to deal with having an artificial ear for the rest of her life? I was just scared at first, but wanted to see what he could do, Raj said. And the procedure has been done before, apparently, at Johns Hopkins in 2012, but this was a first for the U.S. military. Raj says she's optimistic about her future. It's been a long process for everything, but I'm back. Great story. And serving her country, an accident, and now she's got an ear that was grown on her arm. I mean, if you were able to live another 100, 200 years, maybe they could grow another heart for you or another liver. I know they're doing that in laboratories, but I mean, on your own person. Under her arm, you're growing, growing an ear. Listen, think about it. Van Gogh would cut his ear off. So, but, if you're in an accident, that just looks a little weird. But anyway, what a nice story. Yeah, when we come with stories, we find it off the wire. But if it's meaningful, we'll do it. We'll throw it in there. It touched my heart and thought it was kind of cool. Who would have thunk it that you could do that? But it just marvels me. Anybody that's in medical, scientists, doctors that do these experiments, I mean, to be able to accomplish this and pull off the unthinkable, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I wouldn't be surprised in the near future if they're not going to be able to just, instead of putting on a waiting list and people dying because they can't get a kidney, they can't get a new heart, they're just going to grow one. I don't know if they'll accelerate the deal and put some Miracle Grow on that, so to speak. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm encouraged. And, if you're younger, especially, your kids, your grandkids, I mean, geez, I mean, something breaks down, you just go to the laboratory and cook one up. There you go. By the way, Delaware became the first state to fully outlaw child marriage. That's about time, don't you think? Yeah, but not so fast. Now, this is setting the legal age at 18, according to WDEL Radio. But marriage for those younger than that is still legal everywhere else. An amendment to Delaware law closed a loophole in previous law that allowed for marriages under 18 with court approval of a petition or parental consent. Children under 18 have no legal standing. Delaware State Representative Kim Williams said, per WDEL, they cannot file for divorce, utilize a domestic violence shelter, apply for a loan, or open a credit card. They cannot enter any legal contract, but until this bill was signed, they could be married as a child without any way of escaping an abusive marriage. Now that we have closed this loophole in Delaware law, children will be protected from forced marriage and its dangerous consequences. I am so proud that Delaware is leading the way to protect children, and I hope that other states will follow suit. Well, they should. I think it's a great idea. You shouldn't have older men marrying young girls. That's just disgusting. Now, not everybody is marrying like that. Maybe it's 2 or 3 years off in a lot of cases, but not all cases. And that loophole that gives deviants that idea that they can do it. Now, well, the bill passed, by the way, unanimously in the state Senate last week. In April, the bill passed with just Democratic support in the House, 23-11, with 6 absences. Reuters News reported that many who opposed the bill cited religious freedom or sought exceptions for those in military service or pregnant. So they say, we as lawmakers have always said that the family is, it comes first, said the state Senate. And the Wilmington News Journal says, so if a family is following a certain faith and they want to marry off their son or daughter at 17 and have been for generations, why is it our job in government to tell them they can't? So some are against it. State Representative Mike Ramis said that the law could have unintended consequences. So no one is in favor of, for instance, a 45-year-old marrying a 14-year-old. And if the intent of the bill is to keep that from happening, I think we all agree that's something we should keep from happening. Ramos told the News Journal, but we all know people who got married in their teens and are still happy together today. Our concern is the unintended consequences that this bill could have on those families. And they say more than 90% of the child brides and grooms in Delaware were wed to someone older than 18, or roughly 40% married to someone older than 21, although generally within 5 years of the minor. But listen, if you're 18 and the girl's 13, it's a little weird. Then you can go younger than that. Wow. Sometimes people like them young. What was the saying in high school? 16 will get you 30. Jeez. It's just, I don't know what people are thinking, but it's been going on for so long. Every state should, to me, have that provision in there. Because, first of all, you have a pea brain, and I don't care how smart your kid is. But at 18 years old, how much brains do you have, and how much I really love this person? Sometimes love happens, but more often than not, you're so young, you don't know who in the heck you married. You don't know who in the world that and then 5 years later, there's a divorce. We see that divorce is rampant, unfortunately. But no, I would certainly rather have people think about it before rushing in and being told that they should marry at that age, especially that young, when you really don't know the individual at that age. People do grow up eventually. Well, at least you'd hope so. President Trump said yesterday that he will meet North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for a historic, and this is the date, June 12th. It's going to take place in Singapore. And he's going to try to persuade Pyongyang to give up its nuclear weapons. Now, this is monumental, folks. I mean, when you think about what's going to take place, what's going to go down, I just want you to kind of just lament just for the moment here, and just think about what's going to go down here. It's going to be the first summit between the leaders of the two countries. After all that rhetoric last year, it looked like it was going to be a big, huge meltdown. All the Rocket Man launching those things and the fiery rhetoric about leveling them off and, we're going to annihilate you and all this other stuff. Now, this is a very highly anticipated meeting between the two. As you can imagine, the world's going to be watching. Big time. Trump's announcement of this came hours after the three Americans, and what a scene. You got to look out on YouTube if you missed it, for the three Americans that have been held prisoners in North Korea arrived at a U.S. military base outside Washington. It's just, to see this, it is good faith. To me, that gives me the warm fuzzies, knowing that really it's a great gesture for a rogue regime that is dangerous to the peninsula and dangerous to the world. The man proved that he can go outside the atmosphere. He has perfected whoever's Iran has been giving them intelligence, been giving them weapons, grade plutonium, and Chinese have been giving them rockets, but they were able to pull it off. And it's believed that he has the ability to launch a nuke. We don't need it into his hands. And what in the world he gets in exchange for giving up those weapons to make him allow inspectors through the UN to inspect anything, anytime that they want to do for an unspecified amount of time. I don't know, because that's going to take that. They're going to have to let their guard down. They're going to have to be chill. They're really going to have to be transparent. But I'm telling you, if Trump pulls this off, he will go down as one of the greatest presidents of all time. Because think how long this armistice has been going on between the two countries, and then having a united, the North and the South, the borders coming down. Tear down that wall. That kind of moment. Folks, this could happen. This could happen. It would benefit the North's people tremendously and enrich them in so many ways it wouldn't even be funny. Maybe there's a softening of his heart. Maybe God's doing something over there through a Donald Trump, through Mr. Pompeo. What great strategy. The things that people thought would agitate and cause World War III seem to be working. And you know what? Ronald Reagan said it best when he said that you walk softly but carry a big stick. Donald Trump had that big stick in his hand, and he beat it. And he said, look, we'll clobber you. You try anything. You try it. He's saying it with Iran. You try it. Listen, folks, the U.S. military, we got the best forces, best trained. Yeah, we got some ships that went awry. Folks, largely speaking, we got technology that rivals any country. I have friends that work at MacDill Air Force Base. We got international partners. I just know things that people tell me and things that people told me in the D.C. area when I worked there, and just the knowledge that I have and things that are just known that we have. We save a lot of stuff for a rainy day. But don't think that we're not ready to be able to take on these adversaries. And plus the fact we're not going it alone. The world is against Iran and against the practices of North Korea. This is not the West being a cowboy doing it alone. Civilized society will not stand for it because it jeopardizes all of that and more. And we cannot allow this to take place. It cannot be in those hands. Not for those reasons. And maybe, as some have speculated, that this has been a bargaining tool. He did all of this to be able to get all the money and the prestige and the credit for being able to take the poor nation of North Korea. Oh, yeah, they show Pyongyang and how successful it's staged when people come in. There's buildings that are not even complete. Empty shell buildings. They don't even have money to fix. They don't have money to feed their people. That movie with Seth Rogen, The Interview, very accurate with stores that have fake groceries and fake food in there in the windows so it looks like it's real.